Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've been uploading regularly, but you know what, life's been happening. It's been super busy. I've just driven the G80 M3 back from Montello Park, which is in Ireland, as we did the LZ festival at the weekend with the S15, and I had this car driven over there because I just thought, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to do a little road trip back from Ireland. When everything's so busy, a nice long Holyhead back to Warwick road trip is what you need. It has just clicked over 4,000 miles. I've had it for just over 4 months, so I'm going to do a little review, an honest review of what it's like to live with one of these, because I tell you what, I think that they are absolutely fantastic. And I'm being serious. I get to drive a lot of different cars, but one that ticks all the boxes and does everything that you want it to do, this is the ultimate daily car for me. Obviously, you guys know that Magnitude have jumped on board to make this whole G80 project happen. So we're going to talk about those a little bit later, so make sure you check them out. But before we get into the whole video and I start telling you how much I love this car, we're going to have a little sexy montage. Of course we are. Come on then, let's get into it.
I've been on the road, I've been doing shows. Now we eating steak, remember sleeping on the floor. We stillin' at the gas station when the time was cold. In the kitchen, hot still trying to flip it out the stove. Rockin' fake J's, praying that nobody know. Watch them take my dog away, it was way too hard to stay composed. Fight to see the light of day, all this blood on my clothes. I was tired every day, green light, it's time to go. I don't wanna live life fast or die too young. Die too young. 100 miles per hour, I might crash cause
I was just thinking, I've just come down to the locks to do a little bit of filming, but actually there's like some pretty severe water noise, so I apologise if that's getting in the way of the filming. This is my Tanzanite Blue 2023 G80 M3 X-Drive competition. It's got the full M Sport carbon kit on the outside. It's got the E-Venturi, I don't even know how to say that, it's just their new grille. And we've got the yellow E-Venturi DRLs running on there. Other than that, I put I-back spacers and springs on it. I've barely modified it for me, because you know what? I think out the box, these things look the tits anyway. This is a Tanzanite Blue with full black leather, all carbon. I went for the ultimate pack when I bought this car because I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna throw the kitchen sink at it. And I'll be honest, to me, I know the looks are subjective, but I think these things look absolutely wicked. It's such an aggressive looking car, and with all the carbon bits on it, I mean, one of my favorite parts of the entire car is actually these little canards. Isn't that ridiculous that you have a full carbon kit on a car and then I go absolutely nuts over the little tiny bits of carbon on the front? I don't know, I just think it looks great. I've had lots of compliments on this car. People that were like, oh, do you know what? I didn't really like G80s when I first saw them, but now I've seen your car with all the little bits on it. They really turned, I think a lot of people are changing their minds when it comes to them. I find the interior super comfortable. Obviously, I had to go for the carbon bucket seats. I think if you're gonna have one of these cars, they have to have the seats in them. But that's obviously, again, subjective. I mean, the comfort seats are just as comfortable, I'll be honest. But it's all about, you gotta have carbon bucket seats in the car. I've driven this thing to Ireland twice now. I've done quite a few road trips in her. It is, honestly, especially with the X-Drive, a lot of people were talking to me about why didn't I get the rear-wheel drive. I picked the X-Drive just simply because, A, 2023 car, it was what was available. But actually, for day-to-day driving, the X-Drive is the perfect option because it means you can drive fast, you can drive safely, and you're never worried about the back end snapping out on you. I used to have an F80 M3, I also have the E92 M3, and don't get me wrong, those cars are super fun to drive. The DCT was wicked. The F80 is definitely a lot rawer than this. But for daily driving, where you want something that looks good, is fast, doesn't want to try and kill you, this does everything in a nutshell. And you've got 4 doors, so much space. Quite a few people have said to me, like, would I end up getting the Touring next? I would genuinely think about it, because I don't want to sell this car. I actually don't. I would love to keep it for like 2-3 years because it is just doing everything that I possibly need it to do. I don't want to make any more modifications on it because I think it sits great. I think it looks great. I mean, maybe we'd put a set of wheels on it, but even so, it's actually, I like the BMW wheels from factory. Maybe I'm going soft in my old age. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just like, oh God, I just don't want to modify cars. No, that's a lie. That's an absolute lie. I just really enjoy the way this thing looks, the way it drives. We'll get in and drive it, because there are a few little things which I know there are slightly subjective that people could have a conversation with me about. But to be honest, when it's your own car, it's like your own baby. You just love it, don't you? As you guys know, Magnitude Finance are on board with the G80 project. They are a 5-star concierge service, and what they are able to do for you guys, if you're looking for a G80 M3 or something like this, they have a calculator on their website, which means they can take into account your circumstances and what rates are available to you and give you a real-time value as to how much that car is going to cost you each month, which means you don't have to wonder or worry. You can get a real result in literally under 10 minutes. You can always call them up and get some expert advice straight away. That's what you need when you're looking at finance. You always need to take into account your own circumstances and what's available and what's affordable to you. So if you are looking for somebody to hold your hand through that process, I recommend getting yourselves in touch with Magnitude Finance. I'm going to put all of the links in my description and on the screen here, so make sure you check them out. Get yourself a G80 M3. They're brilliant. Jesus, you'd think after nearly 5 years of doing YouTube that I'd be a little bit more graceful at it. I've just put a GoPro on the windscreen and managed to kick the windscreen wipers with my knee and just sprayed myself in the face with washer fluid and nearly destroyed my windscreen wipers. So what can I say about this car? I mean, what I absolutely love about it is the fact that it's just over 500 brake. It's got the S58 engine in it. Now, don't get me wrong, some people have said that the engine note is a little bit lame. I have to agree with you, but as modern cars get more and more modern, everything is getting lamer, because that's just the way the world is going, right? Everything is becoming emissions tested, everything is becoming more efficient, yada, 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 hybrid. We're all going to end up in electric cars, which I really hope we're not, because I feel like BMW, with the M3 and the M2, which we'll talk about later, they've really broken the mold and pushed forwards with new sporty cars. In comparison to, say, like Audi Sport or AMG, I mean, no one knows what AMG is up to with their 4-cylinder C63s. And Audi Sport, I mean, they've got the RS6, the RS4, but, you know, they're not pushing and bringing out new sportier models. Whereas BMW M are going absolutely nuts. This BMW M3 and the Touring and the M2, and obviously there's the CS versions of the M4 as well, and the M2 coming, they are pushing forwards and like breaking the mold essentially for modern manufacturers. What I really like about this car is it's a super easy daily. It looks aggressive, you can go fast in it. If you wanted to take it on a track, you can take it on a track. If you want to go and do the drift analyzer, you can go and do the drift analyzer. Yes, I did get the X-Drive, but once you bias this thing all the way to the rear, let me tell you, it's absolutely mental. Like, once you put all of that power to the rear wheels, you can have loads of fun in it. But that's not what this car is for. I drive this as my daily vehicle, which I just enjoy going to and from working. I'm doing shoots, I'm talking to you guys in it. It honestly just ticks all of the boxes, and I'm getting just over 30.3 mpg in it, which is unheard of these days in a powerful vehicle. My other question to you is, what is the comparison in the market? What is there available for this sort of 80-90 grand bracket? You're going into 2-seater sports cars, or, you know, RS6s start at a higher price. They're also V8, which means that they're like super expensive to run. Like, this isn't mental to run. It's less expensive than my E92 M3 by a long shot. What else would you get for this sort of price? I don't know, because then, as I said, you're going into that sort of you're going into Porsches, you're going into, you know, V8s, heavier cars on fuel. Whereas this, I get all of the usability of a daily car, but I then also get some kind of MPG. I mean, coming around these roundabouts, the car is so fun to drive, and you feel so much confidence in it. You can really launch one of these things into a corner and just, it will take you around like it's on rails. Now, I will say, subjective thing here, there isn't amazing feedback through the steering wheel. Like, I haven't taken it on track yet, but I have seen quite a few videos, and I can contest it to myself as well, that there is a little bit of a numbness through the steering wheel. But it's not the end of the world. Like, as I said, not many people are going to be taking these on track, but if you do want to, that would be the only thing that I would say. It can get a little bit numb to the feeling, I guess. And as I said, that engine note there, it's not amazing. But again, these are all minor things. For all the pros that you get, the cons are very little. I have done thousands of miles in this car now, and I'm still yet to get a bad back from it. The carpet seats are super comfortable. Obviously, if you have maybe an elderly person in your family, they can be a little bit difficult to get in and out of. My poor daddy, sometimes I'm like, Dad, he sort of falls into them. But it's not it's not a big deal. I think if you're going to have one of these, styling wise, I would always go for one with the carbon seats, just simply because it really smartens up the cabin. But the comfort seats are still just as good the same. My last point that I'll make about this car is I've driven a lot of things over the last few years, and nothing has quite managed to do everything that I've wanted it to do and look the way I wanted it to and give me the MPG that I wanted it to do. So to be honest, this is why this is almost the perfect all-rounder. I am thinking maybe I should get a touring next, because I enjoy the car so much, but maybe we could have like a different version of it, go for the touring, or maybe even an M2, as the M2 is going to have, you know, the final manual box that BMW are going to make. And I think maybe we should just have one of those, just as a sayonara, just as a goodwill gesture towards BMW. So man, in an M2, an F87 M2, they're like right up my chuff. I will say, when you're driving this thing about, you do attract a little bit of attention, especially from boys in Civics and M2s and all of that good stuff. But it's the nature of it. You're driving M3, you know what you're getting yourself in for. I love it. I do. What can I say, lads? I absolutely love driving this thing. It is the perfect all-rounder. I'm going to put it out there. I'll put money on it. I'd say that this car right now, bang for buck, is the perfect daily driver. I'm sure you guys will jump in the comments and tell me that I'm wrong. But do you know what? It's a healthy conversation. When I do have to get rid of this car, though, I am thinking about maybe getting an M2. I think the M2's with the last manual box that BMW are ever going to make, which is quite sad. I think maybe we should have one of those on the channel, just for old time's sake, I reckon. Yeah, I'm thinking that I want to keep this for as long as possible. Maybe we even get a touring next. Who knows? Maybe something mental's going to come out. Have you seen that Mazda are bringing out a new RX-7? There's going to be some fun stuff, hopefully, in the next couple of years. So we'll see what happens. But right now, as I said, bang for buck, this is the best daily you can buy. You heard it here first. Guys, if you are looking to get one of these, make sure you check out Magnitude Finance. I'll put all of the details in the description box below. And yeah, I will see you on the next video. It's good to be back. We're back on the YouTube game. Right then, guys, take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next video super soon. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.